21st century, doing something mean to it.
In 1990, the Albany-based New York State Gay and Lesbian Lobby and the New York City-based Friends and Advocates for Individual Rights joined forces to form the Empire State Pride Agenda.
The Pride Agenda was really the result of what I consider a brilliant idea. If those two forces hadn't come together, we would be nowhere where we're at now.
The first major goal of the newly formed Pride Agenda was to pass the long-sought-after Sexual Orientation Non-Discrimination Act, a basic civil rights law for lesbian and gay people.
The major focus was to build the organization so it would have the strength and the clout to go to Albany and get SONDA done.
There were a lot of early challenges.
When we became more politically savvy and we understood that we had to participate in the process, that we couldn't just curse the darkness, but we had to lobby, advocate, spend money on our political activities.
Getting more involved with electoral politics, being able to elect people who would really be in a much better position to carry our message to Albany. The election of Deborah Glick was so important because it gave us our own voice within the Assembly. In addition, Tom Duane was elected to the state Senate, which was huge, because now you had openly gay people in both houses of the legislature.
I'm asking if you would please keep an open mind on the issue of marriage.
As the Pride Agenda was quickly gaining support from allies in Albany, little reflected the growing clout of the organization more than who came courting our support.
Just looking at, over the years, how the prestige of the speakers we were able to attract grew.
It is such a great pleasure to be here.
Do you hear that, Jesse Helms? Do you hear that? Let's drive them. Let's drive them crazy. Let's drive them crazy.
Going from sitting around at night wondering if the mayor of New York is going to have the guts to show up at our first dinner, to being in the room when the President of the United States walks in.
We are putting a face on the painful discrimination so many within the lesbian and gay community experience.
After a decade of developing our strength, recognition, and power, the Pride Agenda's first major breakthrough came in 2000 with the passage of a hate crimes law.
I feel elated. It's just the best day ever for, not just for gay and lesbian New Yorkers, but for all New Yorkers.
The bill is now the law, the hate crimes bill.
It was the first time that we were specifically mentioned in legislation, and it definitely helped pave the way for SONDA.
Ayes 34, nays 26.
The bill is passed.
The momentum was on, and 31 years after the bill had first been introduced, SONDA finally passed in December of 2002.
When SONDA passed, a lot of people looked around and said, well, that's it, should we close up shop? That's what we were here to do. But it was pretty quick that we knew that, in fact, there was so much more work to do.
Let's go! The passage of SONDA opened the door for a fight in Albany that I think most people didn't know was coming, but our community had been gearing up for.
This is who we are.
After passing SONDA, the Pride Agenda redoubled its efforts for marriage, transgender civil rights, and student safety, starting an annual Advocacy, Equality, and Justice Day, bringing more pro-LGBT New Yorkers than ever before directly to their legislators.
The faces of people who climbed onto a bus in the dark hours of the morning to make a long journey to Albany to tell their story face to face with a legislator because they were hopeful that their life could be better than what it was right now, and that New York could be better than what it is right now.
From WHAM Rochester.
The president today calling for a constitutional amendment.
I believe a marriage is between a man and a woman.
In the summer of 2004, marriage equality suddenly became a major galvanizing issue around the country. As New Yorkers watched marriage pass in other states, pressure finally culminated in the first ever vote in December of 2009 in the Senate.
You don't have to be gay to respect the rights of those who are.
This bill hurts no one, but gives the American ideal of equality to many, many people.
The Senate chamber was very quiet as senators gave their vote.
Ayes 24, nays 38.
The bill is lost.
Well, this is a crime. What they did in Albany today was a crime.
What do we want? Equal rights. What do we want it now?
The 2009 marriage Senate vote, look, there's no way around it. It hurt. It was hard to have our state Senate say that our loving families didn't deserve the same protections as all others.
It's one of those things they want you to give up, but we never gave up.
Better, faster, stronger. That don't kill me, can only make me stronger. I need you to hurry up.
This devastating loss and betrayal by our elected officials was a reminder to turn anger into action and get right back to work. The Pride agenda pushed even harder on targeting anti-gay representatives and pushing hard on our legislative goals. 6 months later, the Dignity for All Students Act was passed with an overwhelming bipartisan majority. And the fight for marriage was far from over. With Governor Cuomo as champion and broad support from across the state, the stage was set for a final showdown.
I don't want to be the governor who just lobbies for marriage equality. I don't want to be the governor who just fights for marriage equality. I want to be the governor who signs the law that makes equality a reality.
Who am I to deny you the right?
My son should not be denied his rights.
Please don't deprive me of something that you have and I want so desperately.
The inexorable march of history is on my side.
It was clearly quite a significant moment to sit there and hear the New York State Senate debate our families and say that our love counts, that our families matter, just like all other families.
I am Jim Alisi. I'm a Republican. I was born that way. And passing marriage equality is the most important thing that I think I can do in my 20-year history as a legislator.
I believe you can be wiser today than yesterday when you do the work.
Ayes 33, nays 29.
Tonight, I am especially proud to be a New Yorker.
As much as people want to focus on the drama over the last 6 months, I think anyone involved in this fight knows that that last 6 months wasn't possible without all those years that came before.
For 20 years, Pride Agenda has built clout as a political power player in Albany and has achieved over 70 governmental victories. We are not slowing down.
We are on the cusp of equality. That's the history of our movement. That's the history of the Empire State Pride Agenda. We're not afraid to work hard. We know how to work within our government. We have 20 years of relationships and history. And I know that if we continue to be committed to our work and engaging on all levels, we are going to win. And in the end, what are we fighting for? Love. We're fighting for the ability to be who we are.
Every day is so wonderful, and suddenly it's hard to breathe.